Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news live every weekday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time on Chatmosa. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and today is Monday, November 17th. So with me on the mic, I have some fabulous co-hosts, my Icy Chili, my Gorgeous Moon, and my Libra Queen. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Good morning.
Yes, and I want to give you a reminder that this is week 2 of our Hot Tea Cold Cash giveaway.
Hey.
Yes, indeed. So for our giveaway terms and conditions, head over to auntiederik.com/hot tea cold cash. Again, that's auntiederik.com/hot tea cold cash. How you gain interest into the giveaway, you RSVP to every show. You attend every live show and stay for its entirety, and you promote my show on social media with the hashtag Auntie Derek. So do all of that, and you can gain 3 entries per day during this week. So we're in week 2 already. We have 9 more giveaways to do, and shortly we're going to announce the winner of week 1. I'm so excited.
Ooh, who is it? Who is it?
Okay. Well, I won't keep you all in suspense, honey. It is, let me get the poster. Drum roll,
Drum.
please.
I was just gonna say that. What's the drum roll?
All right. So week 1's winner of our giveaway is Hammock of Cake.
Oh my God. Oh
Congratulations,
my
boo.
God.
Congrats, Hammock.
Oh
Yay.
my God.
Shout out to my fellow Libra.
Congratulations.
I knew you could do it.
Tell me, okay?
Now, I have to say, Hammy has told me several times who this person on this photo was. Y'all know I don't do anime. So if you ask me who it was, gun to head, tell my mom I love her, honey, because I just could not. Somebody says it's Itachi. Okay, well, hey, Itachi. Well, Itachi can't have this money, honey. This money is for Hammy of Cakes because Hammy of Cakes was a huge supporter of me in this show. And I have to say, I've never told anybody this, especially Hammy, but Hammy was actually like my sign that I could really do this podcast and shit. And what I mean by that, so in the early days of Auntie Derek, and my co-host can tell you, I tell them all the time, like, I know life happens. If there's any time that you can't be here, please take care of life first because this show will be here, but you take care of life first, whatever, whatever. So there was one day where none of the co-hosts were here because, life was life. So I was questioning myself. I was like, can I do this by myself? Can I carry this whole show without any co-host to banter with, like without any co-host to, feed off of? Can I do this by myself? So I was like, well, hell, I'm about to find out. It's because I already done, set the show up and people done RSVP'd. So I was like, hey. So the only people that were in that show that day was Hammy. Hammy was in the audience and doing what he normally does in the chat. I was hosting that show by myself. And at the end of that show, Hammy said 2 words that let me know, bitch, you can do this. He said, good show. Baby, if you know Hammy like I know Hammy, this bitch don't just give out random compliments. so for him to say that really meant that he thought it was a good show. So, Hammy, shout out to you, baby. Thank you so much for supporting it. Keep you and this money away from my man because I know how you do. But congratulations on being week 1 of our week 1's winner. And also, keep in mind, y'all, Hammy has another chance to win. So
Mm-hmm.
again, do what Hammy did do because you see how he won the entry type was by RSVPing. Hammy RSVPs to every show, so make sure you're doing it as well to get those entries. Yes, go ahead, Chili.
Let me just say something to you. Don't you ever doubt that you can do this show without any of us here. This is your show. Yes, you can banter with us, and you know, we're just here to support you. But, Auntie, I would have no doubt ever that you couldn't do this show without us here, just as well as you do it with us here. I'm sorry that you even doubted yourself, to be honest. But thank you for that story. But don't doubt yourself, honey, because you are the star of this show. I don't care if nobody's in here. You're gonna make it do what it do. Okay.
Thank you, boo. Thank you. Y'all got me smiling from ear to ear. And then we have we have a comment. Personality is too big to fail. You only just saying that because you just won $100, bitch. I know you. And then we have me and my new sound card. Yes, honey. I love it.
No, he didn't just say that because he won. He meant that. Hammy just not gonna say anything.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah,
So
he
thank you again, Hammy. Thank you, Chili, and congratulations. And y'all keep, getting those entries. We got 9 more
congrats.
times to do this.
Congrats. Call me, Hammy. Okay, call me.
Yes. Well, so do y'all remember at the end of Friday's show, I teased a special guest that we would have for today by the name of
Mhm.
Bajan the Don? Baby, that special guest is here and I am thrilled. Thank you so much for showing up. I want to introduce my listeners and my co host to the fabulous Bajan the Don. Hey, boo.
What's going on, everybody? I hope
What's
I can hear
up?
you. Can y'all hear me clear still?
Yes, we
Okay.
can. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, we are happy to have you. And give me one moment because I'm looking for my phone. I got some questions I want to ask you. Okay, so we found the phone. Well, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good.
Well, I have a few questions to kind of introduce who John the Don is. Now, I know who you are as this fabulous, fabulous person. But when you see where it says here on the post that I've shared, it says you're an actor, artist, big boy ambassador, and you tell stories and repping big boy confidence. Follow for vibes, creativity, and realness. Hashtag big boy energy. Baby, I know that's right.
All day, all day. Yes, yes, that
Well,
is me.
my first question is, who is this fabulous Bajan the Don that we see online, and where does he come from?
All right. So again, everybody, I'm Bijan the Don. Where Bijan the Don comes from is pretty much my middle name, and just having that status, having that title of the Don. When you think of a Don, they're like a made man in the mafia sense. Or when you think about like royalty, the Don is like next to the king type thing. You know what I mean? So. Um, I just, I take myself very seriously as far as my craft is concerned. And not only that, but I see myself in a higher regard for the type of thing that I put out, whether it be acting or whether it be music or whether it be just, just living my life to the fullest. That's where the Dawn came from. Originally, though, I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I now stay in Charlotte, North Carolina. Although I don't claim Southern. I've been here 17 years and I'm still like, no, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So that's a little bit of where the Don comes from. Like I said, Bijan is my middle name. So anyone else you see out there with Bijan this or Bijan that, they're frauds. I am the one and only Bijan the Don.
You better be the one and only, and I love that. And I hear what you're saying, and I love, that you have your Milwaukee roots. But when I say you my North Carolinian cousin, bitch, I mean it. We are claiming you as a Southerner. I'm
I
sorry, it just is what it is. Well, so question now: is Bajan the Don different from Anthony the actor, or are they one and the same?
There are some similarities between Anthony the actor and Bijan the Don, as far as like the entertainment space, but they do differ. Anthony is more professional. Um, like let's go, let's show up to the call sheet, or let's show up to the set. We already have our lines memorized and we're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Anthony was in Ti's The Trap. The production footage didn't get used, but I was definitely in that. among other things, including the Pepsi commercial. That was all Anthony. Um, but where they differ is Bijan Adon is more spontaneous. Bijan Adon is more in your face. Bijan is pretty much everything that Anthony is, but squared. You know what I mean? Bijan is the entertainer. Bijan is the rapper. Bijan is just your overall big boy ambassador. Although Anthony is body positive and very confident in his body and in himself, Bijan will put it in your face and don't give no fuck about it.
You better work. No, and I love that because I can relate because when we have I'm an actor as well, but there's Auntie Derek, the personality, and then there's Derek Johnson, the actor. So I totally get where you're coming from. And there are some, there are lots of pieces of Derek Johnson that's within Auntie Derek, but sometimes, there's not much Auntie Derek in Derek Johnson, especially in professional settings. I totally get it. Well, so now those of you that don't know you personally, like I do, now I have actually seen your weight loss journey. You have lost a tremendous amount of weight. I can't even put into word. Like if I had to put into words, and I'm not even being facetious, people, when I say like it's a whole person. You've lost so much weight. And tell us how much weight you've lost thus far and what inspired you to go on your weight loss journey.
So the main thing, well, okay, so I started off at close to 500 pounds. I believe in odd number or I believe in even numbers. You feel what I'm saying? So we're just gonna make it even. I was 500 pounds, and I dropped down to 346, and currently I'm about 380. So what inspired the whole weight loss was just not feeling good about myself. I've gotten to a place where I used to be able to do a toe touch at like 300 pounds, full off the ground in the air. Excuse me, full off the ground in the air toe touch, and I used to be able to move like nobody's business on that dance floor. Like, people say they're going to cut a rug. Baby, I made the rug. I laid the rug. I was the rug. You know what I mean? So I had
Not
got
lying, y'all.
right. So after COVID, which was like a real, real rough time, during those 2 years of being locked down, I had gained so much weight. I was in the middle of a breakup. Well, I was at the end of the breakup with my ex, and depression was like really, really bad. And I was just eating everything. You really couldn't go anywhere. So I was just eating everything. And I had rose to a point where I wasn't able to move. I wasn't able to do like basic functions like bathing myself and, taking care of my beard or my hair, like grooming myself, things like that. It was difficult. I would be out of breath. I couldn't even walk upstairs. I couldn't even walk up like just the little flight of stairs, wiped me out. So I just knew that I had to do something because although my father and I's relationship had been estranged at that point, I do know that he has a lot of different health issues, and my mom has a lot of health issues, and a lot of different things like high blood pressure, hypertension, cancer. Those things run in my family, and I just felt like I had to do something about it to stop or at least break that cycle. And I went online because I have a for those of you that may not know, there is something that comes with your insurance if you have that option that's called the health spending account. And with the health spending account, it allows for you to accumulate money from your paycheck to go on a card where you can like make purchases for different health items like cold and flu season, personal hygiene, sexual health things, so on and so forth. And one of the options was weight loss or, weight management, weight loss. And I signed up for the program and I was able to qualify through my doctor. And I started semi-glutide. And the semi-glutide were the injections like the Majaro or, the other ones out there. But like I did my research and this one was like really, really good. There had been no like known side effects at the time of it being put out, and other things like that. Then with my ex and I separating, he moved to Vegas, and that allowed for us to break the cycle of our eating patterns together. We would eat a lot of like late night food and just bad choices as far as food is concerned. So with him being gone, I think I lost 50 pounds. And then with the semi-glutide, I lost another 50 pounds. And then when I stopped, because I was still in that cycle of water, 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 less food, less food. And it wasn't like I was starving myself. I just didn't have that hunger. I lost 160 pounds.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So, and I definitely feel the change. Like I said, I went back up to 380, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, no. Like, because I like the feeling of being in the 40s. My goal is to be 320. If I can get to an even 300, that'll be perfect. But my goal is 320.
Well, just like Chill just told me, honey, do not doubt yourself. It's called a weight loss journey. For a moment, it goes both up and down. You have lost 160 pounds. Like I said, that is a whole person. That
Yeah.
was not easy. So I just need you to, and I hope you understand that. Like, hell, you 30 more pounds, hell, food is good, especially around this time of year. It is what it is.
I love me some food, baby.
So,
Especially being an emotional eater. You know what I mean? Like when I'm happy, I eat. When I'm living life, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. When I'm sad, oh, I eat. I eat.
I
Oh,
know.
That's where a lot
Me
of us
too.
are, Bijan. To be honest, food is attached. It hits those endorphins in the brain, and
I swear.
on either end, food is pleasure. So it's like any addiction. Smoking, food, drugs, alcohol. You know, a lot of people are addicted to food. So yeah, it's those. You got to start thinking of it differently. And I'm talking to myself, not just to you. That's something we all need to work on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you have to definitely look at it differently.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was, chill. Like I was on this path, and then I was like, let me eat this. And then, I was I was talking to someone, and it went sideways, and that emotion was like food. Food, I need food. And it was definitely curing that whatever emotions I was going through at the time. But then it was just like out of control. So I think I am going to start the shots again, um, just because I know that those shots mentally did help me. Um, Not so much as push away from the table, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna eat. I love food, but it made me make more grown up choices about food. Like, do you really need all those sweets? Or do you really need that whole meal? Why not just get something to satisfy you and to, crave your hunger versus you eating a whole smorgasbord of food in one sitting?
No, I love that, and I love your story too because to summarize, it sounds like what because of family health history, you were looking to be proactive rather than reactive. So you was like, you know what, it's a lot going on. I want to kind of break the cycle. So let me do my research, and you did your research and use your resources to get some help. When I tell you, I love that. I love, love, love that.
Yeah, I had to. Like I think I started those shots at 39, or it may have been the year before last. I don't remember. I want to say maybe it was last year though. I want to say maybe it was last year, but I turned 40 this year, and I was like, that's a whole nother chapter. That's a whole, God willing, another 40 years of living on this earth. You know what I mean? And I want to right a lot of the wrongs and the mistakes that I've made as a child, teenager, young adult, as far as food is related. Because, yeah, a lot of my family members, unfortunately, their times have come up because of our health. and it's tied into a lot of the things that we put into our bodies. So, I'm on my soapbox right now, but I am thinking about what I'm about to smash when we when we get off the interview, because I am hungry. This morning, all I had was a Bojangles sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and a large lemonade, and my stomach was like, "Bitch, please." So I'm trying to think of something.
I was like, you only had one, honey. Even one won't do it for me, honey.
Yeah, I was like, "Why don't you get the bar rounds?" And I was like, "No, we're trying to be healthy. Just get the sandwich and the drink. That's all you need." And then I ate it, and I was like, "Damn!" I was like, Janet Jackson, "That's the end."
Like, no, and I want to tell you, stay on your soapbox, honey, because Chill, the retired health professional, this is like music to her ears. I know she is loving what you are saying right now. I know she is. So, so my next question. We already know what inspired you to go on that weight loss journey. Now, as someone who is full figured and body positive, now I know you get a lot of backhanded compliments. Like, and me, I went on a weight loss journey myself, going up and down on my weight, and people just come up do the backhand like, "Oh, what you do to lose all that weight? Oh, did you mean to lose all that weight? Oh, are you sick?" Stuff like this. The backhanded. So now, I'm sure you hear things like you're pretty for a big dude, shit like that. How do you feel about this? Like, what is your opinion on these backhanded compliments?
I, and I really thought about this long and hard, and I've never really heard any of those comments. I've heard people get those comments, but I've never heard them like to myself. But I just, sometimes you just have to bless the ignorant. You know what I mean? Like, some people just don't know any better, and if they do, God be with them. But yeah, a lot of people, they really feel like a lot of things that they say, um, in relation to compliments are just that. They don't see the backhandedness in the compliment. They just see the compliment being given. And for those people, like, really, I have nothing to say, because people are going to be who they are. You know what I mean? And I think once we like start realizing that, we'll be better off. You know what I mean? We'll be better off when people give those backhanded compliments, unknowingly, that it's a backhanded compliment. Then just God be with them. God be with them. I feel like for those who do know that it's a backhanded compliment, that's a stupid look, because like it's just like saying, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl." I hate that. I hate that shit with a passion. Like I said, I've
Right.
never received it myself, but I hate compliments like that, because why does it take for me to be dark skinned, or me to be overweight, or over plus size, or whatever the situation is, whatever you want to call it, for me to be the exception? You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, why do I have to be the exception with it? Oh, you're pretty, you fine for a bit, dude. Like, so if I was to lose all this weight, I wouldn't be fine, or what are you trying to say? Because one thing I don't want to be is cookie cutter, like the rest of the dudes you might find attractive, or all the, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I just, like I said, God be with them. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, but that bliss can sometimes be hell, and I don't want no parts of hell.
I know that you better speak. Y'all better listen to that Aquarian wisdom, honey. Listen to this Aquarius king. Well, so now we have a chat in a comment in the chat says, "Amazing, Bajan, keep it up, inspiring." Now, what message do you have for the next up and coming Bajan Dawn? So the next, like, you know, fresh young tuna, the Bajan Dawn that is like 6 or 7 years old, that sees himself as different as everybody else. What message do you have for him?
Never lose your wonderment. Never lose your wonderment. Like, I feel like we all have that wonderment within us. that ability to believe in ourselves, that confidence that drives us to go forward and to pick what we want to be and go for it. You know what I mean? Like, there will never be another Bijan the Don because I'm original. But at the same time, for that one that does come up and see themselves in me or emulates me, I would tell them to strike now. Don't wait, figure it out, get a game plan together, and attack. Because if I knew what I know now back then, a lot of things would probably be different now. A lot of things will probably be different. I'll probably be the same Bijan slash Anthony because I was always going to use that as a name, Bijan the Don. That's like, that was stamped back in like the 99 and the 2000s. But as far as just learning confidence and or relearning confidence, relearning to believe in myself, relearning to trust God or trust the spirit world with whatever I desire. I wish I would have just stuck with that. And that's the wonderment that I'm talking about with kids. We have that so much, and then we get out here in society, are we running these circles that tears that away from us, and we lose that until we like somehow down the line we regain that confidence and that ability to believe in ourselves and trust the spirit world, trust God's word, and you know what I mean, just really go for it, step out on faith. We have that so much as children, and I would definitely tell anyone that was 6, 7, 16, 26, 36, like you really have to strike when the iron is hot. When you have that vision in your mind about who you are, what you want to contribute to the world, and you know what your goals are, what your dreams and aspirations are, you can never lose sight of that because you will wake up, you'll be in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you'll just be like, how do I? That's where I find myself at now. Sometimes, with being 40 and having all those dreams, goals, and aspirations when I was younger, I feel like so much time has gone by. And even though people are going to say, like, oh, well, you can start now, you can do it now, like, don't lose hope, you got it, like, yeah, you hear it, and it's like, I really appreciate that, but it's so much harder to do it now than it is 20 years ago when I was 20, 21 with that same dream. You know what I mean? So again, if you hear this and you're young out there and you have dreams and goals or aspirations of ways that you're going to shape or move this world, you jump on that shit now. Especially you ones that are still in the comfort of your parents' home. They don't ask you to pay bills. You work your little job. You stack your bread up. You know what I mean? Until that conversation is had about now it's time for you to get out on your own. You stack your bread up and you do exactly what you need to do in this world. Period. Point blank.
You better say that again. More Aquarius wisdom. I love that. And hell, I know I said that was advice for like the young Bajan and Don, but shit, I felt that too, honey. I as a 39-year-old get ready to turn 40 next year. So shit, I feel like I need to strike while the iron is hot, honey.
Well, baby, you are, and I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I love you so fucking much, dog, because you just do you. You don't put on no airs, and that is why I gravitated to you because you don't put on no airs. The same the Auntie Derek you get today is the same Auntie Derek you're gonna get next year. You know what I mean? You may grow as a person, inside out, but as far as your aura, the vibe, that has never changed. And
Fact,
for some of us, it's so hard to keep that course.
facts. Love that.
Y'all gonna make me cry. Oh my god.
No,
Oh
it's
my.
true. It's true. As
Hey,
long as I've known you, you are the same Auntie. Yeah, you've progressed in a lot of ways, but you get the same person all the time. You know, he's right.
Thank you, boo. Well, Bajan, well, first of all, thank you so much for your kind words, your advice, and your wisdom. Now, we do see one site here on your YouTube page where it says youtube.com/Bajan the Don. And to those are listening, it's spelled B as in boy, IJAN, D as in David, D as in David, ON as in Nancy. So that's Bajan the Don. Where else can people find you on social media?
Oh, well, you can find me on TikTok. The names are never changing. So TikTok, Instagram, um, Twitter or X, and of course, yes, YouTube. Um, right now, I'm in the process of like revamping some things and getting some new equipment. I definitely want to get a new computer, and possibly a new like ring light and everything, so I can start shooting some more content. I kind of fell off on shooting the content because now I'm focusing on the bag. I got to get the money. Anything I got to do to get the money that's legal. Let me say that. That's legal unless you know how to get around some things. I'm just like, but anything I gotta do to get the money, like I'm definitely trying to do that. I'm trying to be on that. So I've kind of like put the content things to the side, but I definitely have a lot of content that's out there already. If you have never checked it out, or if you want to know what I'm about, yeah, follow me because I definitely follow back.
He does indeed. And when it comes to that content, trust me, we will because he does have a lot of content and we'll be talking offline on how he needs to get that content out there.
Yes, yes.
Well, Bajan, again, thank you so much for being here. You are welcome back at any time, especially if you have something to, because I know, honey, this is we I'm sure something is in the works coming up. So please come back to promote it. We would love to have you again.
Absolutely, and I would definitely love to be back. And I thank you so much for having me. It's been fun. It's been fun. I can't believe it's already over, but yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for the exposure.
Yes, you are most welcome, honey.
Auntie, we need a
Well,
round of applause.
oh, you know what? You're right. Let's give my bitch a round of applause, honey.
Hey, okay, I get the sound card. First person to get the sound card.
Yes, bitch. I told you I am going to get on y'all nerves with this thing, honey. Yes, I am. Well, Bajan, you are more than welcome to stay for the tea, honey. But if you have to leave, we totally understand. But we about to jump into some hot tea, honey. Let's just get right into it.
Tea
Okay,
time.
yeah, I got a meeting I have to attend for work, so
And some lunch to grab.
yeah, definitely that part. They better know they gonna be on the car in this Zoom meeting.
Well, I love you, boo.
All right, love you too. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, Bajon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Bijan.
And we gonna go jump straight in. We got a lot of tea to get through too, honey.
Tea time.
Yes. And you know what we like to start off with?
Diddy news.
Well, yes. And honey, it looks like NBC is not having it with him. They are looking to squash that $100 million lawsuit that he filed against them in court over that documentary. And you all should see I just shared this exclusive by way of all hip hop. NBC moves to squash Diddy's $100 million lawsuit, points to his own words in court. So Diddy is being slammed by NBC, which he says admitted he wrecked his own name long before their Peacock documentary, The Making of a Bad Boy, came out. The network wants his $100 million lawsuit tossed and says his downfall is his own doing. NBC's new filing says the film didn't ruin him. They say his guilty verdict, a long list of lawsuits, and his own words in court explained everything. Lawyers for the network highlighted what he told the judge at sentencing. He said, "Because of my decisions, I lost my freedom, I lost my career,
I totally destroyed my reputation. NBC argues that the line alone shows he can't blame a documentary for the damage. Diddy sued NBC Universal, Peacock, and the producers earlier this year. He claims the making of a bad boy paints him as a predator and ties him to the deaths of Kim Porter, the notorious B.I.G., and Heavy D. Diddy says it leans into rumors to make him look like a monster and even compares him to Lucifer, aka the devil himself. The rap mogul claims NBC released a rushed, sloppy documentary, and he presented his alleged proof. A quote from Ample Entertainment co-founder Ari Mark, who told the Hollywood Reporter, "It's really competitive, and I think that is why it wasn't enough to be fast. It was also necessary to be distinct. There's no time, and this was an extremely fast turnaround." NBC says the documentary pulls from public records, long reported claims, and interviews that were already part of national news. His own case made those stories hit harder. A federal judge found him guilty of trafficking people across state lines for prostitution under the Mann Act. The case involved accusations from Cassie Ventura, a woman called Jane, and several male sex workers. I don't think we need to read the last of that. We have read that trial to death, and I think y'all know how it ends. So yeah, he says, NBC says, "Stop playing with us, honey. You said the shit. We didn't say nothing. We were just pulling from public records, and we made a documentary about it. So if it happens to make you look like Lucifer himself, then baby, that's your doing. You said it." Oh, that's that on that. Child. Oh, baby, this next story, because while we speaking about Diddy and the Notorious B.I.G. and all of them, remember on Friday's show we talked about that publicist Jonathan Hay, who, fun fact, when I shared, because y'all know I clipped that part of the show and put it on YouTube, and I shared that YouTube video out to Twitter. Guess who liked that damn tweet, honey?
Who?
Jonathan Hay.
What?
Yes, honey. He liked that tweet. But it looks as if because I actually just saw a news clip right before the show started that he's filing a civil lawsuit against Diddy and CJ Wallace, Notorious B.I.G.'s and Faith's son. But y'all remember we talked about him on Friday when the Notorious B.I.G.'s estate pushed back against those claims about CJ Wallace, like trying to sexually assault him with Diddy. Baby, now CJ Wallace still got them lawyers involved. And you also see I just shared by way of hot new hip hop, Biggie Small's son, CJ Wallace, sues publicist for Diddy's sexual assault claim. Baby, and let me get this up here. So the Diddy scandal has been a lot to keep up with, that's for sure. Especially as it ropes in folks like Biggie Small's son, CJ Wallace. For those unaware, a publicist and music producer anonymously sued CJ and Sean Combs for sexual assault. He claimed that Wallace, Willie Mack, and others lured him to a place where Combs allegedly tried to force oral sex. The anonymous accuser later revealed himself to be Jonathan Hay, according to TMZ. He also accused Biggie's son of being romantically involved with the bad boy mogul and Mac, plus participating in alleged freak-off parties. Now, according to new legal documents filed in Florida, CJ Wallace launched a defamation lawsuit against Hay for these claims. Wallace claims that these accusations came due to a failed posthumous Notorious B.I.G. remix project. A single, Ready to Dance, did come out in 2020, according to Complex. Wallace and the Notorious B.I.G. estate declined to proceed with releasing the remainder of the songs that had been produced by Hay due to low audience interest in the single, Hay's erratic behavior, and creative differences, the lawsuit reportedly reads. Biggie Smalls' estate also sued Hay for defamation, and Diddy's team denied the allegations. Also, CJ claimed that Hay threatened to release the music they had left over without permission, and that he didn't mention any allegations back then. Now he's accusing the producer and publicist of a calculated smear campaign via interviews in 2024 and 2025. CJ Wallace argued that these claims are false, made with actual malice, and with intent to damage his personal and professional reputation. He acted with actual malice, knowing the statements were false and with reckless disregard for their truth or falsity. The filing from this week reportedly reads, we will see how this the legal debacle develops amid a lot of other drama. For example, authorities recently delayed Diddy's prison release date due to various factors, which we went over, so I won't even finish that last paragraph. So, yes, honey. This gonna get messy. I feel like this is gonna get messy too. This gonna be another trial I'm gonna have to follow, honey, because it's gonna be good and messy. I can't wait to see it. I'm so I'm 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 sorry, y'all. I can't help myself. I love mess.
Hmm. Diddy's mess is everywhere, I tell you.
Mhm. Well, speaking of somebody else whose mess is everywhere, honey, Cardi B and her ex-husband Offset, honey.
Child.
This is actually sad. Now, y'all know I'm not her biggest fan, but I actually still I feel sorry for her because this is not cool. And she's absolutely right. So I just shared this TMZ article, and y'all should see where it says Cardi B says estranged husband Offset has her concerned for her life. And honestly, you should be. Because this man has shown you repeatedly that he's a narcissist. Now, I'm no healthcare professional and I don't have any credentials to diagnose anybody. But like I've said on this show before, I'm really good at recognizing patterns. So, Cardi B has had enough of estranged husband Offset's alleged harassment. She says his behavior is starting to make her fear for her life. After filing for divorce from the Migos rapper and moving on with her boyfriend, NFL star Stephon Diggs, Cardi claims Offset is still obsessed with her. And she's got a point. Offset recently suggested that Cardi's kids with her new man could be considered his child according to Georgia law in tweets he since deleted. Cardi warned those who might laugh at the seemingly absurd drama, saying, y'all be thinking it's so funny, and it's not. It's all fun and games until it's too late. Reportedly, Georgia law could allow for Offset to take a paternity test regarding Cardi's baby with Stefan if he can prove he still had access to her during the period of time when the baby would have been conceived. But Cardi could ask to deny the request. Cardi said, sometimes I sleep and wonder. This is not normal. You see crime documentaries, you see shit on social media about women getting killed every other day. Cardi and Offset wed secretly in 2017 and have 3 children together. Cardi filed for divorce in 2024. She's right. She's right, girl. You finally see the red flag. And honestly, I wish you would have seen this, 3 children ago, but hey, better late than never, I guess. But yeah, the signs are there, hun. This man literally cannot leave you alone. He thinks you are his property, and then I just hate the way that sounds, honey. The language that they use with that Georgia law. If he can prove that he had quote unquote access to her during the time the baby was conceived, then he can file a paternity test. Are you kidding, Georgia? What are y'all doing, honey? What are girl? I don't have words. Child. That's that on that child. Well, speaking of mess, girl, now let's talk about. We don't talk about the ex-husband. Let's talk about her new baby daddy. And this is a message for my young gays and my young dolls. Leave them DL niggas alone because they dangerous. Them DL niggas are dangerous. Now, I'm not saying that Stefan Diggs is dangerous. I mean, oh, excuse me, Stefan Diggs is DL. DL and dangerous, allegedly. But I'm just saying, baby, y'all leave them DL niggas alone. They mean you no harm, and sometimes they end up killing you. So no, we want you here. We don't need you being killed. Listen to your auntie, babies. This is your auntie speaking. Leave them DL niggas alone. Anyway, so I say all that to say. So remember that guy who alleged that Stefan Diggs tried to sexually assault him, and he was telling people about it, but Stefan got like his got people to jump him, I believe his brothers or so to jump. Y'all remember hearing about that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, honey, Stefan is now suing him for defamation. And y'all should see what I just shared here by way of TMZ. Stefan Diggs sues influencer for defamation over sexual assault allegations. So Stefan Diggs is going after a social media star who accused him of drugging, sexually assaulting, and later conspiring to kill him, with the NFL star calling the claims pure fiction. The lawsuit which TMZ Sports obtained was filed by 31-year-old Diggs on October 1st, with the Patriot star wideout accusing would-be social media influencer Christopher Blake Griffith of concocting a lurid story about him stemming from an alleged incident at Stefan's Rockville, Maryland home in May of 2023. Diggs says he, along with Griffith and other influencers, hit up a local club after a charity basketball game in Washington, D.C., before later returning to Stefan's home. The Pats receiver says he then went to his bedroom while the assistant asked Griffith to leave, capping a fairly mundane night. More than 2 years later, though, in the summer of 2025, Diggs said Griffith blasted out wildly false statements about not only the night of the Hoops game, but also an alleged violent incident days later that he claimed the football player orchestrated. Griffith said Stefan drugged and sexually assaulted him before conspiring to have him killed to suppress his gay/slash bisexual secrets from becoming exposed. Diggs says Griffith not only posted the nonsense allegations to his tens of thousands of followers, but also tagged the NFL and Patriots social media accounts, as well as Uggs, with whom Stefan has a sponsorship deal.
Wow.
The Patriots star clearly had enough, pulling the trigger on the libel lawsuit accusing Griffith of intentionally and knowingly lying for online clout and in the process seriously hurting Diggs' reputation. We've reached out to Griffith's attorney, Jake Lebowitz, who said Mr. Griffith is looking forward to showing the world in court that regardless of the fairy tale fabricated by Mr. Diggs' high-priced New York lawyers, he is the victim of Mr. Diggs' unwanted sexual advances and his brother's violent attacks. Stefan is seeking damages and attorney fees, and while he doesn't specify how much money he's seeking, you can bet it's a pretty penny. Mm-mm. Y'all better leave them DL niggas alone, honey.
A mess. That's messy.
Mhm. But my whole thing is though, right? If you know that you've been doing your shit on the low, why would you want to like try to file a lawsuit? Why would you, nigga? Is you dumb? Like, are you bring your ass here? Let me slap you for
Well, I think it
stupid ass.
boils down to can he prove it? You know, as to whether you should pull the trigger on that or not. Still trying to protect your reputation. Can he prove that that happened? That he was
Mhm.
drugged and assaulted? You know, he could say that, but you know, hearsay, one person's word against the other. I don't know, Auntie.
We gonna see, honey.
We gonna find out. Because
It's gonna be
tagging all these
another
people,
storm power.
I mean, he could be sued, for defamation or whatever, slander, for tagging, his job and his the companies he's working with, his deals. That's kind of putting it out there, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I certainly wouldn't do that. That's but uh, mm, I don't know. Something tells me this was a really nasty. Like I feel, and I have no proof of this other than the gut feeling and my own personal experiences. But they were a couple, and things just got really messy towards the end, and it was a messy breakup. So that's what I think happened. And oh, who you think you gonna tell them? You feel like you gonna open your mouth about what we do in our business? Oh no, I got something for your ass. I, and told his brother, his brother who knows about him and his fluidity,
Hmm.
allegedly, had to go and handle that. Or maybe he just told his brother that this motherfucker's flat out lying on me. So who knows?
Yeah. Either way, it's bad.
Either way. Well, speaking of other DL men who I think, was a couple that had a really nasty fight and a nasty breakup, Busta Rhymes and his assistant, honey, their ex assistant. Y'all should see I just shared this all hip hop link that's an exclusive. Busta Rhymes fights to prevent leaks that could derail $6 million legal battle with former assistant.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Leak, you say?
Leak, you say? Yes, honey. Busta Rhymes is asking a federal judge in Brooklyn to enforce a stricter protective order, claiming his former assistant could leak confidential case materials and jeopardize his right to a fair trial. The hip hop icon and his attorneys argued that sensitive items such as private messages, videos, and arrest records must remain sealed to prevent media exposure before trial. The legal move comes as Rhymes battles both civil and criminal claims from Dashiell Gables, his former assistant. Excuse me, his former assistant. Gables filed a lawsuit in August of 2025 seeking $6 million in damages. He alleges Rhymes assaulted him in January in the lobby of the rapper's Brooklyn apartment building, then fired him after he reported the incident to police. The complaint also accuses Busta Rhymes of wage theft, workplace mistreatment, and blacklisting him in the music industry. Rhymes has denied all wrongdoing and filed a countersuit in October accusing Gables of defamation. In court filings, he called the original lawsuit a quote unquote shakedown and rejected claims that he assaulted Gables or forced employees to perform degrading tasks. This includes an allegation that one assistant was told to unclog a toilet with his bare hand. In the recent motion, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She said, huh? In a recent motion, Rhimes' legal team warned that media coverage and online speculation have already infected the case. They argue that even small leaks of discovery materials could sway public opinion and contaminate the jury pool. Minor disclosures of confidential material, they wrote, could have an outsized impact on the fairness of the proceedings. Gable's attorneys pushed back, calling the motion an attempt to silence their client. They described Rhimes' defamation suit as a retaliatory strategic lawsuit against public participation, abbreviated as SLAP, and said the issues in the case involve public safety and alleged misconduct by a well-known figure, matters they claim are protected by the First Amendment. Busta Rhymes turned himself in earlier this year after being charged with a crime related to the January incident. A briefing on the revised protective order is scheduled for later this month. Mhm. So my whole thing is Buster, Trevor. Let me call you by your government, Trevor. If you knew that you was just this outstanding boss and you have never done what you have alleged and stuff like this and da 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 da, why do you know if there were text messages or videos or whatever that were or could be leaked? Why would you be worried? If you knew you weren't doing all that, you wouldn't be trying to and I believe everything that Gable's attorney is saying. He is trying to silence their client and use his power to do so.
Sounds like
Mhm.
it.
And he don't want people to see what's being said, between him and his quote unquote assistant. You know how that old family member that we know is gay, honey, but don't nobody say that, but that he or she has been living with their quote unquote roommate for about 20 years. That's what we say. Busta Rhymes are his assistant. His
Yeah.
assistant, allegedly, wink,
Alle-
wink.
Assistant.
Okay. Oh, child. Messy, messy. I said this case is gonna this is gonna be a back and forth, man. And my whole just like with Stefan, like if you know you out here doing your dirt, why would you try to take this shit to court knowing there's a chance of shit that can be discovered about you? And that's gonna be now it's gonna be public because your stupid ass like you should have just paid paid this little side piece off allegedly and gone about your business. But now, you want to like, oh no, they're defaming me, they're lying. Whole time they got videos of them stuck in your anyway. Um, what's this next story I have, honey? Oh, speaking of another hip hop great, honey, that's somebody's daddy. Allegedly, allegedly. So y'all know that lawsuit with Jay Z and Ramir Satterwhite, baby, that's not over yet. We thought it was over, baby.
It's not over?
It's not over, honey, because his godmama has filed an appeal.
Oh my God. Leave that man alone.
Mm-mm. She said, "No, to goddamn, you are going to take care of your alleged son, and you are going to say in public that this is your son." But y'all should see that I just shared this hot new hip hop article. Jay Z's alleged son's godmother officially files to reopen paternity suit. Well, Jay Z has long denied accusation from Ramir Satterwhite that he's his secret son, even resulting in a recent court dismissal. His godmother and legal guardian, Lily Coley, recently got a lawsuit dismissal over her pursuits, which came shortly after Satterwhite dropped his own legal moves. However, they are by no means done with these allegations. Coley filed a notice of appeal earlier this month, claiming that this dismissal was inaccurate and insufficiently justified. According to an exclusive All Hip Hop report from Nolan Strong, she filed a motion in California court to revive the lawsuit on Friday, November 14th, which accuses Hove of dodging DNA tests and manipulating New Jersey's legal system to block further action. Still, since the previous court dismissal was with prejudice, this means sanctions and other punitive stipulations could affect Lily Coley's attempted lawsuit revival. We will see how the California appellate court responds to this latest filing, which makes some key legal claims. First of all, Coley's original suit in California accused the Rock Nation mogul of filing false documents that damaged her reputation and limited her freedom of speech. But his legal team invoked California's anti SLAPP statute while asking the court to dismiss it. The anti SLAPP statute aims to quickly quell lawsuits with power imbalances that seek to silence public opinion. The court reportedly dismissed Ramir Satterwhite's godmother's lawsuit under the statute, although it's unclear if it's because the filing couldn't prove likely success early or if the lawsuit against Jay was considered an impediment on free speech. Nevertheless, Lily Coley argued against this decision by claiming the dismissal did not properly apply the anti SLAPP statute to filings from a New Jersey paternity case they also pursued. She claimed that New Jersey courts admitted they lacked subject matter jurisdiction to properly rule on the paternity matter. Still, the judge in this case argued earlier this month that Coley's updated filing didn't address the anti SLAPP's legal flaws, thus leading to a dismissal. Jay Z is a very busy man, so we'll see if he and his legal team respond to these developments. With dismissals and appeals in mind, it's possible that these debacles will begin to solve themselves. Child. Look, I know this is how you know my gorgeous moon is currently working at the moment because you know she would have had something to say right now. You know, honey. Well, we'll be here, honey, when you get off the mic and you have a moment because I know you want to add to this story. So, yeah. I mean, this is
They are determined. And
Mhm.
this is ridiculous. They're really putting a lot of money into this. What is the real end goal? Like, he's never going to take a paternity test. Like, leave it alone. You can't make him do it. There's no way to force him to do it.
Agree. But they ain't trying to hear you though. They ain't trying to hear that knowledge.
Well, but it's like you can't force him, so why are you spending your bucks trying to make it happen?
Yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
my
He
money,
said,
so hey.
right. Jay-Z said, y'all will not say I'm a deadbeat dad. I am not that nigga's dad to be a deadbeat dad. So stop playing with me.
Going in the corner right now.
Oh, see, I told you.
Not in the corner.
In the coffee room, child. Hold on. You know what? Look at here. You know they want money so bad. And they are really honey. What, so if okay, so what if he's proven to be the dad? Then what? He grown. So then what? What you gonna do? What you gonna do with it? Now you gonna sue him for some money? What? Or what's gonna happen when they say he ain't the pappy? Then what? What y'all gonna do? Them people crazy, child. It's not like he's a 5 year old. Oh my God. These people are, there's people crazy out there. And apparently his mama told him this lie and passed on, and they really trying to make it come through. Ooh,
She is
I
determined.
don't know.
I don't
I
either.
don't know. That's crazy. It's a grown man now. He ain't even no kid. Ain't he like 26,
I don't know how old
26
he is. I
years
thought he was
old?
older than that.
Might even be. Oh, like, yeah, what you want this man to do? I just want to know who my father. Well, it probably ain't him. Go on, like I said before. Put the DNA on the internet and see where it get hit at. If they hit with his family, then maybe you know something. If not, then move on. Because there's ways to find out who your family is.
That's definitely one way. Hit one of those services and see who pop up in the family tree.
Okay, you could definitely do that. If you feel like he is your dad that bad, you can go put your DNA and find out who your family tree is. Because I'm sure somebody in his family did something like that somewhere. Because they all have, or if they've been to jail and they had to put their DNA in
Mm-hmm.
the thing.
So,
So
yeah,
so
that would
there's
be what
ways
I
to
would
find
do.
out. Yeah,
I
instead
try
of
one,
wasting all this damn
try it.
money. Yeah, and then you come with a lawsuit then, because now you have proof. But you just out here wasting money to try and get rich.
Hmm. They said stop wasting the court people's time, honey. Go on, Ramir, get.
That used to be my man, my man, my man. But I am, Beyonce's taking good care of him, so I'm all right. I moved on. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Girl, you know what I know, honey. They say he got enough love for you and Beyonce, honey, and some other women too, allegedly, allegedly. But you didn't hear that from me, honey. 'Cause I don't
Look,
golf
I
for that.
ain't, I
Hey,
ain't trying to be Becky with the good hair either. I don't want that smoke. I don't need that smoke, okay? I love him. I loved him before she was even a thought. Okay, I loved Jay Z back in the day before she was even a Beyonce. But they're a power couple now, and I respect that. I respect it.
and you know what? And I respect you too, because I'm in no position to judge who you find attractive, honey, because you know who my man is. Mm, mm, mm.
Oh Lord, if
No, you know what? About his looks, I don't like him now, and he ain't aging that gracefully. But it was more about the the swagger on him, like especially 96, 97, 98. You don't know when he's out there, boy. He's a grown ass man, and I like that. He ain't got to be the
swagger,
finest thing,
yeah, the
but that
swagger.
swagger is just poof. Yeah, that got me. That
He still
really
got it.
got me. No, he still do. He's still a boss, and I respect it
Hmm.
tenfold. And I know a lot of people think he's this and that and whatever, whatever. And I'm sure he's had to get over on a few people because you don't become a billionaire without getting over on some folks.
Oh yeah, he done stepped on a few heads, no doubt.
Yeah, and some of them people, some of them heads needed it, like Dame Dash, because he was fucked
Ooh,
up. Allegedly, allegedly.
Hey man, and caught a
But
stray.
and he need to catch some denture glue. That's what he need to catch.
ooh.
But But, but he had to do what he had to do because he saw Dame was finna take it down. He said, "Oh no, you ain't finna mess up my legacy and my money. We done built up with your crazy antics." And that's what I respect. And people don't fuck with him like that. They don't mess with him. So I love that because they know he a boss.
Girl, well, long story short, we might be birds.
Yeah, well, I am a bird. I was a bird. I was. Not for him. Yes, I was. You right.
I'm
I'm
still a bird,
reformed
honey.
though. Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm.
You know who my man, my man, my man.
I know. I know. You ain't got to tell us no more. We know.
The whole world know who your man is by now, okay?
Shit, he probably know now. By now, he might know.
Oh, he knows. Hey, boo. Well, speaking of somebody who said he's not a deadbeat dad, y'all ain't gonna put that on him. Pusha T, honey. Cause I don't know if y'all saw the timeline, but they've been talking about him all weekend.
Yes, we
Well,
saw
because he
that
could have left that. He could have left that
that
out.
little
Like
second
even.
paragraph.
mm, I mean, it's no big deal. Like the way people are just. He's married. He's taking care of his kids. Mind y'all business. But it didn't come off. It was like, dude, you did not have to say that. But you know what? A cis hetero man will always embarrass his woman. Always. They always gonna find a way to embarrass their woman, no matter what.
Hey, if
That's why I
she
be
like
saying I
it,
tell
we
people
love it.
this.
She go
Hmm.
for it. It's okay with us.
Yep. Well, y'all should see what I just shared by way of all hip hop. Pusha T responds to deadbeat dad claims following the baby reveal. So Pusha T ignited backlash over fatherhood and double standards after an Instagram post celebrating his second child with wife Virginia Williams drew sharp criticism online. The Clips rapper's message, intended as a tribute to his spouse, instead triggered accusations of parental neglect. Uh, he tagged her, baby Jenny. Thank you for my second baby boy, he wrote. I hope you carry on with tradition and never teach me how to change a diaper, prep a meal, suck out a snotty nose, or anything else a supermom does. You make things very easy for me, and I love and appreciate you for it all. See you spring 2026, my boy. The post quickly stirred debate, while some accusing the Virginia native of bragging about avoiding basic child care. Critics labeled him a deadbeat dad, calling out what they saw as a tone deaf celebration of disengagement. The controversy is especially pointed given Push's own lyrical history. In his 2018 diss track, The Story of Adidon, he famously accused Drake of being an absentee father, rapping Deadbeat Ass Dead in reference to the Canadian star's then secret son, Adonis. Now, the tables have turned. The Grammy nominated MC, known for his sharp critiques and no nonsense persona, finds himself under the same microscope he once aimed at others. Pusha T, born Terrence Thornton, married Virginia Williams in 2018. The couple welcomed their first child in 2020. Despite his public career, the rapper has largely kept his family life out of the spotlight. While some defended his message as a highlighted nod to his wife's tradition, others saw it as a troubling admission. He replied on Twitter by leaving a series of laughing emojis under a post addressing the controversy. The couple is expecting their second son spring in 2026. And this was the post. I'm gonna actually share my screen and show y'all the post that he put all the laughing emojis under. Where it says niggas calling Pusha T a dad be dad. He doesn't because he doesn't like changing diapers. And then he put the laughing emojis.
Yeah, I mean that's going a little bit far as a deadbeat dad, but it was very insensitive, I think. But I mean, if she don't want him to do diapers, or she make it easy, or they got nannies or whatever, and then so be it. I mean, but people love to overshare. Definitely, that was something he could have kept to himself.
Yeah. Straight people business. They got nothing to do with me. I can't have babies. So, and thank goodness for that. Cause woo, if I could have babies, honey, I would be a deadbeat dad. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie. So that's that on that. So speaking, we just talked about Patrick Beverly not too long ago and how Clay Thompson had to check him online for talking shit about Megan Thee Stallion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honey, I have this link here from All Hip Hop. And you all should see where it says Patrick Beverly respond to felony assault charges after a Megan Thee Stallion hot take. Well, Patrick Beverly was arrested Friday in Fort Bend County, Texas, on a third degree felony assault charge after allegedly confronting an 18-year-old man he found alone with his underage sister. The 36-year-old former NBA guard was taken into custody at the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office in Richmond and charged with assault of a family or household member by impeding breath or circulation. According to his attorney, the incident unfolded after Beverly discovered the teen with his sister in the middle of the night. Patrick Beverly has no criminal record. He cares deeply about his little sister, a young lady, a minor. Given that, when he unexpectedly found her alone in the home with an 18-year-old man in the middle of the night, he was understandably concerned, as any brother would be about his sister. However, we don't believe what followed happened the way it's been described, and we look forward to the opportunity to address that in court, said attorney Letitia Quinones Hollins in a statement. Beverly addressed the situation on social media hours after news of the arrest surfaced. Please don't believe everything you see on the internet. Hope all is well. Love. And he put a heart emoji and praying emojis. Court records confirm this is Beverly's first criminal charge. He posted $40,000 bond and was expected to be released later that day. Known for his aggressive defensive play, Beverly spent 5 seasons with the Houston Rockets from 2012 to 2017 before suiting up for the Los Angeles Clippers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Lakers, Chicago Bulls, Philadelphia 76ers, and Milwaukee Bucks. He also played overseas with I'm going to mispronounce this, but Hapoel Tel Aviv in Israel before making his mark in the NBA. Since stepping off in the court, since stepping off the court, Beverly has leaned into media, launching his own podcast, stirring attention with commentary about Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson's lackluster start to the season with the Mavericks that drew headlines. His routine is thrown off. I'm not saying it's her. I watched him on Instagram. The guy was juggling. It's easy to juggle one thing, but when you put something else in there, it's harder and your focus is off a little bit. Thompson wasted no time in replying to the criticism from Beverly and his sidekick, Jason Williams. How would y'all feel if I referred to your wives in such a way? Do better, fellas. Very disappointing, Clay Thompson replied. The Fort Bend County District Attorney Office acknowledged the arrest, but has yet to release further information. The case will move forward through the Texas legal system in the coming weeks. All right, that's that on that. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't say if I was him and being the eldest brother of my siblings, I would probably have done the exact same thing if I seen.
not probably. I would have
Oh,
1000%.
yeah.
And they're probably lucky they got to him before he actually took him off this earth, because I'm sure that's what he was trying to do.
Hmm. In the
Crazy.
middle of the night, honey.
He's fucking predator or something else.
Honey, he saw that nigga and he just went straight to choking him, honey. When they said
Oh,
when he was charged with assault of a family or household member by impeding breath or circulation.
mm-hmm.
That's
And
not funny. I'm sorry.
he was trying to send him to his maker. I know that.
And your 18-year-old ass know better. You knew you weren't supposed to be in that girl house like that.
Well, and it said family members. So, huh?
Mhm.
Like, is that a cousin, an older cousin doing that? You lucky you didn't die that night. You lucky. Because I'm sure he meant for you to go.
So, question: if y'all remember Eddie Murphy back in the 90s, right? You know he wasn't an ugly man. He was actually a very very nice looking man, and would y'all, if you were a couple, if you were a part of a couple, whatever, and y'all like to play with other people, would y'all invite Eddie Murphy into y'all bedroom?
You mean as in he was himself or
Yeah,
somebody that
like
just looked like him?
if you just seen Eddie Murphy out in pub, like at a party and stuff, and you or maybe in Vegas or something, and you and your husband were looking to play, would you invite Eddie Murphy back?
Mm.
Mm,
Get out my lane. I don't know.
I mean, if I was into that, I guess. Why not? Could have been worse things.
Well, yeah, and look, Happy actually just put it in the chat. She said, "Saw the documentary, The King and I Guy." Yes, that's who actually propositioned Eddie Murphy, honey, back to
Who?
do the sleep with his wife, and his name is Yul
Yeah,
Brenner.
yeah.
And you should see where it says here by way of Entertainment Weekly, Eddie Murphy reveals Yul Brenner tried to proposition him for sex with actor's wife.
Oh,
Look,
wait.
look, what'd you say, Mom?
Sorry, I was looking at who the person was because it's black on the screen. So I was trying to see who it was.
No, I
Y'all
mean,
Brenner. Yul Brenner. I was trying to see who it was.
but now you see who he was, honey. He wanted Eddie Murphy to dick it down, honey, in front of him. Well, Eddie Murphy is looking back on a wild proposition he received during his early days of fame. In the new Netflix documentary Being Eddie, which I haven't seen yet, the comedian reveals that when he was 21, the King and I star, Yoel Brenner, tried to invite him home for what Murphy is pretty sure was meant to be a sexual encounter with the late actor's wife. Nobody had as much fun as we had in the 80s. Nobody, Murphy prefaced the story. My 21st birthday party I had at Studio 54. Yoel Brenner from the Ten Commandments, he was with his wife, and he was like, "How would you like to go back to my apartment with my wife and I and party?" The Coming to America star said he politely declined, answering, "Nah, I'm cool." It wasn't until years later that he had a better understanding of the full request. I got older, I was like, "Party?" Murphy remembered thinking. His wife was smiling. I was like, "Did he want me to go fuck his wife?" I was like, "What the?" When I got older, I thought back on it. In hindsight, Murphy says he would have had a different response for the actor who died in 1985 at age 65. Now, I wish I would have went. The story would end better if, yeah, I went back to Yul Brynner's spot and fucked his wife. He was watching me fucking. He was going, etc., etc., etc. He laughed, mimicking the best actor winner's famous line. The story is just one of many memorable encounters for Murphy, who joined the cast of SNL straight out of high school. He confirmed that his younger years looked a lot like the stories of late brother Charlie Murphy told them on the Chappelle Show. Every night was like that, the Dream Girl actor said in the doc, insisting he never actually wanted to partake in that aspect of Hollywood life himself. When I hung out with like Rick James and them in the 80s, when I would start seeing certain people come in the room and what's getting ready to start going down. They get ready to be in the other room getting down. I just bounced, he said. I was never curious about it. I never wanted to go in there. Check it out or nothing. I just wasn't with it. Murphy explained he was never interested in substances, even when offered up by the legends. When I was 19, it was my first year of Saturday Night Live. I went to a blues bar with John Belushi and Robin Williams. They put some blow on the table. I'm standing there with, two heroes, he recalled. I wasn't even curious. I was just not with it. So, he said he ain't with it, honey. He don't want to sniff that white girl, that cocaine. He like other white girls and bright lights and allegedly.
Lord. It ain't alleged he was married one.
He likes the
Ain't it?
dolls as well. Now that's allegedly.
Now that's alleged. I'm gonna get sued about that. Mm-mm.
And you remember I told y'all, honey, that he allegedly Johnny Gill done sucked him up so good that he got a his own room at his house. Allegedly. Because
Uh,
if you know what I know about Johnny Gill, honey, you keep him away from your man. Allegedly.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Wasn't that time period when he was with Nicole?
When he was
This
21, I
no no
don't
no
know.
no no no. The Johnny Gill period. The Johnny Gill time. He
Oh
was
yeah,
still
yeah,
with
yeah.
Nicole.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, even the alleged doll thing, that was even when he was with Nicole, so ooh, they went through a lot.
We have a comment. He didn't smoke his first pot until his 30s because he was busy smoking something else. Allegedly, allegedly. Oh, listen, we have a comment. Sandra asked me why Eddie Murphy aged so much better than Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx, even though Eddie is older. I said it's because Eddie is better looking. Touche. And you know what?
Well,
Because Eddie is an Aries king, honey.
well, points are made. That is true, especially Chris. Lord.
Hmm. Speaking of Chris Rock, honey, I will never forget him because I can't prove it, but I think he is the reason that Scandal is off the air.
Why? Why would he do
Because Because as soon as that news broke about, him messing around with Kerry Washington on, when he was married to Malak, and, him and Kerry Washington filmed that movie, oddly called I Think I Love My Wife, that was about him cheating. So I'm
that?
guessing Carrie must have been method acting, allegedly, and they ended up messing around, and the wife found out. So, but Shonda Rhimes, honey, she is a very no nonsense woman, and she has a very no nonsense policy in the workplace. So, baby, once she found out about that, and then shortly after this, when Scandal had his last season, the timing was just. Mm. But yes, long story short, Kerry Washington allegedly slept with Chris Rock when he was married to Malak.
Didn't she
During
admit to it in her book?
Did she admit to it? I mean, because I know I wouldn't admit to sleeping with no Chris Rock.
I wouldn't
I would,
either.
I
But
would
I
take it
felt
to
like
my grave.
that's why everybody started talking about it because I didn't think it was a thing that was known. And I know she came out. I have to look it up, but I could have swore it was something that she put in her book that got
I don't
everybody
remember.
stirring.
Yeah, I don't remember her ever say. If she did, yeah, please, bring it to my attention because I know she actually just got married when the story broke. She was actually married to her husband at the
Hmm.
time. So yeah.
I'm
Nasty.
finna Google it now. I need to know.
Well, Yul Brynner, unfortunately, Joe Budden wasn't alive, when he wanted Eddie Murphy, but I'm sure if he would have asked Joe Budden about him coming home to, do with his wife, then Joe Budden would be up for it. How do I know this? Because according to this Vibe article that I have for y'all here, you should see where it says Joe Budden reveals his fetish for watching his girlfriend hook up with other men and women. So Joe
Why do
Budden is
people
a
have to
couple.
tell their business? Why do we need to know that? Why?
I don't know, girl, but you know what? I'm glad they are because a nosy bitch like me, I am happy that this is because, and you know what? This actually puts some things in perspective because remember the last story we talked about Joe Button when his ass was caught by his neighbor, caught on his neighbor's ring camera with his dingaling out and shit, talking about he was sleepwalking. But honey, y'all gonna he actually just told on himself in this article, so pay attention. Well, looks like there is an update. But I'll read the update after the story. So it says Joe Budden has revealed his fetish for voyeurism, admitting that he prefers to watch his girlfriend engaged in sexual acts with other people while he watches or films the encounters. In a resurfaced clip, in a resurfaced clip from Podwives podcast, Budden and his girlfriend Sade Monique opened up about their sex life. Discussing the topic of sexual threesomes, Monique says that although Button participates in sexual encounters between herself and others, he prefers to produce their homemade films and likes to give direction. And I just want to take a moment to say, y'all know who else like to do that? Anyway, I can participate, but I'm not fucking, Budden said of his role in the sexual romps. He doesn't want to have sex with anyone in that type of way. He's a watcher, Monique added. When asked if he's a voyeur, Joe and his wife confirmed his fetish, with the former rap star adding that he's into sexual adding that he's also a sexual exhibitionist, excuse me. He's a sexual exhibitionist. I'm a visual guy, Joe chimed in while discussing his sexual preferences. Let me just watch. That's why I was laughing at the porn novels because I'm like, shit, we're like porn stars, damn near. And he's laughing. I think something and then try to make it be in the living room. Sharing past experiences of having threesomes via FaceTime, Budden went on to say that he finds satisfaction in watching his girlfriend be sexually unbridled and liberated, or sexually unbridled and liberated. I don't know what unbridled is. My bad. Anyway, I like seeing her pleased or happy, or her being her version of a porno star. Budden explained. I like that, and I like seeing people respond to her instead of me being in the mix. The pair recalled an encounter during a trip to Greece in which Budden attempted to secretly record a man hooking up with Monique, but that his plan seemingly went awry. He also noted his caution in engaging in such activities in the U.S. due to his celebrity. Joe Budden has given the public glimpses into his relationships with women throughout his career, including former girlfriends Esther Baxter, Tahiri Jose, and Sin Santana. Santana and Budden share a 5-year-old son, Lexington, who was born in 2019. Budden and Monique began dating in 2019, shortly after the media mogul split with Santana earlier that year. And they have a link where you can watch that Podwives podcast clip. And let me read what the update says. So the update says Vibe previously published a story regarding Joe Budden's admission to being a voyeur who likes to watch his girlfriend be intimate with other people. However, Budden never explicitly states that he watches his girlfriend have sex with men in the source clip referenced in our initial reporting. The story has been edited to clarify. Okay, I mean, whatever. Okay, but y'all, so remember, you see what it says. But we do know he's an exhibitionist, right? We do know he's an exhibitionist, and that would explain why his ass was out with his dingling out, and it was caught on his neighbor's ring camera. He was sitting there trying to act like he was sleepwalking. No, baby, you was out there being kinky. I know what you are. Like, are you kidding me? But yeah, unfortunately, he was too young for your Brenner to ask him about going home. But it sounds like he would have been game. I don't know. Well, maybe not. Maybe he wants to do the watching. Maybe he and Yoel are the
He,
same type.
yes, that's what it sounds like. hmm He sounds like
Mhm.
him and Diddy are in the same boat. They like the same voyeurism, or what do they call that? The other way around. What do they call it for the white guys?
Oh shit, I forget, girl. I got a brain fart.
It's the C word. I can't say it out my word.
Oh, cuckold.
That's what they are.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, he's
hmm
like Diddy in more ways than one, honey, because we know he also likes to beat women.
That part. That part. Allegedly.
Mhm. Well, honey, that is that on that. Now, this next story is actually kind of sad. Now, as much as we can't stand Takashi 69's ass, we don't want nothing to happen to his mama. But honey, why his mama got caught up in a home invasion? They had guns and masks and everything, honey. So y'all should see I just shared by way of TMZ. Takashi 69's home invaded by 4 gunmen, mother held against her will. I just know that had to be so scary for her. Oh my God. Well, Takashi 69's Florida home was stormed by 4 gunmen hunting for his cash and car keys and held his mother against her will during the terrifying invasion. The chilling incident went down Sunday night when the embattled rapper's 60-year-old mother was at his residence and suddenly confronted by the armed men. 6ix9ine tells us he was not at home at the time. Instead, he was live streaming with Jack Doherty when the home invasion played out. You'll recall Doherty was also arrested Saturday morning on drug possession and other charges. The Palm Beach Sheriff's Office tells TMZ they were dispatched to the rapper's home for a home invasion, robbery/burglary in progress. When they arrived, deputies made contact with several individuals inside the residence who reported that 4 armed, masked men entered the home with handguns. Police say Takashi's mother was physically held outside while the remaining suspects ran inside and ransacked the property, demanding cash and car keys. Cops searched Takashi's home with a K9 unit, but could not find the suspects who possibly drove off in a vehicle before deputies arrived, according to the chef's office. And they end with the story is still developing. That is so sad. I hate to hear that. I thought I really thought street niggas had a code. Like, you don't fuck with people's mamas and you don't fuck with people's
No,
kids.
not no more. These young folks, they don't care.
Clearly.
It's not like it used to be.
Mhm. Well, some things remain the same, honey, like such as gun violence in New York. But I just can understand how somewhere where guns are it's literally illegal to have a handgun in New York City. And I just don't understand how people still end up getting shot, especially Jets cornerbacks. Like, what? Are you kidding me? And then gonna get shot near Times Square. Child, but y'all see I have this TMZ article. Jets cornerback Chris Boyd critically injured in New York City shooting. Just sad, honey. So, New York Jets cornerback Chris Boyd is clinging to life after being shot in New York City early Sunday. The NYPD says the gunfire erupted around 2 a.m. just blocks from Times Square. When officers arrived, they found the 29-year-old cornerback collapsed on the sidewalk with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. Paramedics rushed Boyd to the hospital where he remains in critical condition, according to law enforcement. The Jets acknowledged the incident, saying only, "We are aware of the situation involving Chris Boyd and will have no further comment at this time." No arrests have been made, and cops say the shooter remains at large. Police say the gunman took off in a blue BMW after the shooting. Investigators are still working to determine whether Boyd knew the suspect or if this was a targeted or random attack. Boyd joined the Jets this season and previously played for the Vikings and Cardinals. And again, they add the ended with the story is developing. So yeah, I can imagine he knew who that person was. Like he knew, and we knew we know what that was about. I don't want to put nothing out there, but if you know, you know, you know.
Mm,
That's just sad. I hope he pulls through.
yeah, an abdominal injury is quite nasty.
Yeah.
Quite nasty.
Yes, indeed.
Well, he'll be out for a while, you know. Sad to see.
Well, in some other news, and thank you, Chili, for sharing this story with us. So OJ Simpson's estate, honey, they got to pay the Goldman family. And y'all should see I just shared here by way of TMZ. OJ Simpson's estate accepts $57 million creditor claim in Goldman case. So OJ Simpson's estate seems one step closer to paying Fred Goldman money he's owed for winning his wrongful death lawsuit years ago, because the estates accepted a multi-million dollar settlement. Malcolm Laverne, the Simpson estate's executor, filed court documents early this week in which he accepts Fred's creditor claim in the amount of 57,997,858 dollars and 12 cents, plus judgment interest on the approved amount.
Don't forget the 12 cents, okay?
Don't get the 12 cents, honey. Goldman originally asked for north of $117 million, but Laverne argues that despite what he sees as a good faith effort on Goldman's part to determine an accurate amount, the lawsuit hasn't been calculated correctly. Laverne tells TMZ the nearly $58 million approved by the estate is a negotiated amount with Goldman, and the estate plans on paying out as much of it as it can as they continue to auction off items, with some of which Malcolm claims have been stolen. He says he's working with lawyers to regain possession of some of these items. Malcolm says he's also going to ask the court to award Goldman a fee for administrative costs for advising him on how to run the estate. So it looks like the two sides are working more closely together than initially realized. Laverne says he declined a majority of creditor claims, accepting just Goldman's and the IRS claim. He says he's prioritizing paying off Uncle Sam before anyone else, including the state of California. He says the state will have to sue for the approximately $636,945 he says they filed a claim for. Remember, OJ was acquitted on the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman, Fred's son, in 1995 in a highly controversial trial. However, the Goldmans took Simpson to civil court the following year where he was found liable for Ron's death. They were awarded more than $33 million, but OJ only paid a very small fraction of the judgment. Worth noting, after OJ's death last year, Lavergne initially said he'd never give the Goldmans a dollar, though he did a 180-degree flip shortly after and promised he would accept their claim. I can imagine with Fred Goldman, that man has been through it, honey. And he was the one who actually kind of, made me kind of realize that, yeah, like when people talk about OJ and Nicole, they tend to leave out Ron Goldman. He was brutally murdered that night as well. And they tend to leave him out when they talk about it. So, yeah.
Well, if he has to wait on sales of things from OJ's estate, uh, I don't think he gonna see that money. I don't know if that man has $58
No,
million worth of
no, he doesn't.
items. I
Mm-mm.
don't know if they could collect that from selling things that he owns.
And you know they have the monetary rights to OJ's book if I did it. So the Goldmans already have the rights to that, so they get whatever revenue from that. But like
Yeah,
I
but how
told
much
you,
they owe
like
the
he
IRS?
he owes IRS millions.
Yeah,
I
they
don't think
come
they'll ever
first.
see it. Yeah, I don't think they'll ever see that 58 million.
I he might see a fraction of that. I just don't think he has that much. If that's what they're waiting on, if his estate doesn't hold it already, and they're selling stuff, I don't see it.
Mm-mm. I think you're right, Shirley. I don't see it because he ain't got that. And who? There ain't nobody in the family got that either. Like they ain't got that money.
Mm-mm. And I know, I mean, they'll sell some things. I just don't think it'll amount to that much money. Like, who wants to own OJ paraphernalia? A few people will probably spend a few thousand for that, 100,000 or whatever, but millions, no, no way.
Agreed. Well, I got 3 more stories left. Well, this next story, y'all, so remember we talked a bit about, Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry, honey, and how, now they claim Justin Trudeau claimed that he was broken up with Sophie Gregory before he started canoodling with Katie. I don't believe that for 1 minute, but okay, we just gotta take him for his word, right? Well, now I've always wanted to hear what Sophie had to say about it. And she actually went on, the Arlene is Alone podcast with Arlene Dickinson, and she talked about it. So let's see what, and let me get that link for y'all here. I have this TMZ link here.
Yes, let's hear what she has to say.
Okay, honey. I was like, "Oh." She said she basically said she's human too. So whatever y'all think she's feeling, she felt that shit. And y'all see where it says Sophie Gregory seemingly reacts to ex Justin Trudeau's Katy Perry's romance. Well, let me share my screen. Let's let that load.
Sophie, if you don't want to talk about it, that's cool. But like I don't I sometimes I do think about you. I think about the public the publicity and the publicness of what Justin is doing, for example, right now, right? Like, like that's public and that's got I don't know how you stay cool. Like I just don't know how you stay cool. And I really admire it because I would probably not be that way.
You know, we're human beings.
Yeah.
And stuff affects us.
Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah.
How you react to stuff
Yeah.
is your decision.
Yeah.
So I choose to try to listen to the music instead of the noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very aware that a lot of public stuff out there can be triggers,
Yes.
right? We're humans.
Right. Right.
What I do with it is my decision.
Right.
The woman I want to become through this is my decision. Does it mean that I don't have emotions, that I don't cry, scream, laugh? No. Especially that I'm a super tender heart,
Yeah.
right? But it's my decision after that. Between the emotion and the reaction, right? I let myself feel. I'll let myself be disappointed by someone. I'll let myself be angry, be sad. And I know for a fact how important it is as a mental health advocate to feel those emotions.
Right.
Like, ugh, right? But then what?
Mm, interesting. So yeah, she knows she said she's a mental health advocate and she knows how important it is to feel those emotions, but then what happens afterwards. She pretty much had to pick up those pieces and she lived it. That I just can't imagine being her. Like that is oof, poor thing. And we know Justin was fucking around on her. We know it. Allegedly, allegedly. We know it. Like, girl. Well, that's that on that, honey. Let's get into some more international news, honey. Some British tea, honey. Why is Lisa Vanderpump throwing shade, honey? She throwing shade at Prince Harry. Or should we call him regular Harry? Because I think didn't he renounce his title? Whatever he did though, Lisa Vanderpump ain't feeling him. And y'all should see I just shared here by way of TMZ. Lisa Vanderpump subtly shades Prince Harry at BravoCon. So Lisa Vanderpump took a jab at Prince Harry during BravoCon's 2025 over the weekend, making light of his abdication of family duty. Bravo fan Jerry O'Connell mm, shared a story of his wife, Rebecca Romaine, during a panel discussion Saturday. As the Duke of Sussex. According to Jerry, she was excited, but not as excited as she was to learn Lisa was 2 rows behind her, right? Come on, I'm telling the truth. Harry has, of course, received a lot of flack following his move to the US after marrying Meghan Markle in 2018. At the time of their infamous decision, the two released a statement saying, "We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor our duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and our patronages." They continued, "The geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, while also providing our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity." They now reside in Montecito, California, with their son, 6-year-old Prince Archie, and their daughter, 4-year-old Princess Lilibet. Her part, Lisa is a Brit through and through. Born and raised in London, she relocated to the US in the aughts with her husband, Ken Todd. In fact, the couple reportedly met at a London nightclub and married shortly after. Mm-mm. She said, "I'm a loyal Brit. He's not, honey. We don't know her. He can't fit with us, honey. Tea and crumpets,
She need
wee
to
wee,
shut
pip
the
pip,
fuck up.
cheerio."
Yeah,
Ooh!
she need to shut the fuck up. And mind you, he left because they was treating his wife bad. Shut the fuck up,
Yep.
bitch.
And this right here, you kinda know where she stands on that, so she made it clear because she it sounds like she don't really give a fuck. She don't care about Megan as either, honey. Hate that, he married her. So, that is that on that, honey. Well, our last story, and I'm sure nobody is gonna care about this other than Paterson, New Jersey residents and myself, but Fetty Wap is gonna be getting out of jail within a year.
Hmm.
Okay.
Y'all are horrible. Well, I just shared this hot new hip hop link, and you should see where it says Fetty Wap secures early prison release for next holiday season. Well, he won't be able to spend this Christmas coming up home, but he'll be home by next Christmas. Yay! Well, for those of us who claim the 2010s as their generation's hip hop era, Fetty Wap is one of the most beloved hit makers that never reached true superstar status. Sadly, a 2 years later. But the New Jersey native recently got some good news about his bid. According to a U.S. Weekly report, authorities moved his jail release date up to December 8th of 2026. This means Fetty will be home in time for the holiday season, which is very heartening considering his previous timeline. The expected release date was initially March of 2027, and that changed in September to January 8th. The outlet confirmed on Friday, November 4th, that the court took another month off of his sentence, although it's unclear why this happened at press time. He was probably being good, unlike Diddy. Anyway, Fetty Wap is currently at a Minnesota prison, specifically the low security FCI Sandstone facility. He will have to serve 5 years of supervised release once he walks out of the slammer late next year. While many fans hoped his release date would be sooner, at least this is a win for at least this is a win in the grand scheme of things for the 34-year-old. Fetty Wap's family previously advocated for this change. His sister Divinity Maxwell Butts took to Instagram back in April to share a message of redemption, accountability, and second chances. My brother has taken responsibility and served over half his sentence for a nonviolent offense, she wrote. He is scheduled to be he's scheduled to be released in 2027, but justice should also mean mercy. His sentence should be commuted so he can come home to his family, his children, and his purpose. It's time. Hashtag pardon Fetty. Hashtag second chance month. Hashtag bring him home. Signed Divinity Maxwell Butts. Meanwhile, Fetty Wap's prison pictures also led to more clamor for his release from fans. They didn't get many updates on him. They miss him. With all of this in mind, we'll see if Fetty gets an even early release from prison over his drug trafficking conviction. Still, considering the big picture, any positive news for him is a his sister to be fighting like that, and it's good to hear. Like at least he got some time knocked off. But that's good. That's good to hear. It seems like I'm the only one. His sister Divinity and maybe the people of Patterson, New Jersey, are the only ones who care about this news. Look at the comment. We got an emoji in the comment, but pretty much implying that he don't give a shit about this story, huh? Y'all are horrible. This man is coming home.
Okay, good for
Good.
his people. Don't have children, awesome for them. Yeah.
Well, y'all. So before we head out, and before anything that I might have missed,
No, my dear, I have nothing.
we have a comment saying Spectrum. My internet must have went out. Sorry, y'all. I was asking them did they have any comment or any other tea that I might have missed or whatever. But it sounds like
I'm
my gorgeous moon said that they don't have any.
Nope.
no, but look, we made it through the whole show without Spectrum messing up. So if it's at the end, okay, I guess that means
We,
it's time to go.
exactly. We are cool with that. Remember to RSVP for tomorrow's show and every other show of this week. But we will be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time for another live show. And until then, you all have a fabulous rest of your day.